There's no better example of that than United Airlines Flight 232.
On 232, we were flying along on this beautiful July Wednesday afternoon, the last day of a 4-day trip for our crew.
Jan Brown-Lohr was a flight attendant on the DC-10 jet. She was heading home to Chicago July 19th, 1989.
And just out of the blue, this loud explosion, which was our number 2 engine.
The cockpit announcement was we had shut down the number 2 engine and would be a few minutes late arriving at O'Hare.
United Captain Denny Fitch began his journey as a passenger on Flight 232. Just outside of Sioux City, Iowa, the back engine exploded, cutting off all steering controls. The pilots were suddenly flying a plane that was, in layman's terms, like a car with no steering wheel and no brakes. The wide-body jet could fly on the remaining engines, but it couldn't be controlled and it couldn't land. Denny Fitch got out of his seat and went to the cockpit on a mission. What he saw was a captain and his crew in a life-or-death struggle.
I said, would you like me to do the throttles? To which he agreed, and for the next 30 minutes, I began my own research laboratory. And I was ready to die if necessary. The next thing that came to my mind was a flight instructor I had years ago. And he basically taught me, never give up. Never, ever give up. And so with that mindset, I went to work for the next 30 minutes and tried to tame the beast.
We had several infants sitting on laps. So I came back on the PA and made the announcement that parents with lap children place them on the floor, position them on the floor at this time. As I was saying it, I thought, this is so absurd. I can't believe that this is what we're doing.
The following is an animated dramatization of the DC-10 crash using the actual black box recording and pilot dialogue.
Okay, there you go. Left throttle, left.
The runway was in our sights. We had it lined up. We were traveling so fast. We were traveling 250 miles an hour.
And as you get control of this airplane, we're going to put it down wherever it happens to be. He's coming down real fast. Okay, all right, come on. There he is. On fire.
You could not have imagined how hard we hit.
Miraculously, 184 people lived through this unbelievable crash. Of the 112 people who didn't make it, one was the 2-year-old boy that had been placed on the floor. The first person Jan Brown-Lohr saw outside the wreck was the boy's stricken mother.
She just looked up at me and said, you told me to put my baby on the floor, and I did, and he's gone. And I thought, I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life.
The people I think about every morning when I step out of the shower and I see the scars on my body. And I think about both survivors and those that died. The 112 are in one seat, and the 184 that lived are in the other. And at all costs, I have to keep both seats out of the dirt every day. Some days are better than others, that's all.
United lost one in Sioux City, and the pilot saved a lot of lives, landed an airplane that had no control capability whatsoever. The amazing thing is when they put all the instructors and the test pilots in the simulator and duplicated it, they all crashed and they couldn't do that. It's an amazing thing.